Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground is brought to you by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to Park Rapids, Minnesota, home of Bezhiigwan, our Native American art gallery. My name is Paula Van Wert. If you'd like to come inside with me, I'd like to show you around. Well, here we are inside, and as you'll notice that we have a wide variety of a number of things. We try to collect art from all over the world. We're not just exclusively Ojibwe. We like the commingling of cultures and resources. And this area is rich with Finnish tradition, Polish tradition, Irish, along with the Ojibwe. But the Ojibwe has just never been explored as thoroughly as we feel that it could be. So we're really trying to bring a lot of items in from old and new, so that people can get an idea of the true Ojibwe spirit that we so enjoy at our household. Most of our products from the Native people come from White Earth Reservation, Red Lake, or Leech Lake. We try to spend at least 2/3 of our profit that we make here on a program for local children to have summertime employment. This is one of the stones, and I carry a number of things from the stone family. Here is Tim Stone's work. This is a Merle Stone cradle board. Here's another stone piece of art. This is Merle Stone's. This is a hand drum. The beadwork on the baseball caps comes from Red Lake, but this basket is a couple hundred years old and it's from Africa. We have earring collection from the 1940s. We're gifted with a cache of things from the 1940s. So if some of the stuff doesn't look as ornate as present, it's because they only had so many resources. This is an artist of ours, Pat Pope. He's a non-native. This is peyote stitch. And Patrick says a prayer for each bead on here. And he's a wonderful, wonderful man. We just love Pat. These are a size 8 bead, which goes a little bit faster. This is size 11, which is the second to the smallest size bead that people use these days. Hundreds and hundreds of hours go into these. We also do regalia rescue. There's something about regalia going into a pawn shop that really doesn't work for me. So we try to go in and rescue things, and the things we rescue first are not necessarily geared towards their beauty, but their uniqueness. And if you go out throughout the building here, you'll notice that each one of the jingles is different, and that's what I concentrated on, was trying to find things that were unique and not always just the same. Here's another jingle dress. Now the jingle dresses are for sale here, but I predominantly hang on to them because of their factor that it's hard to find the unique jingles. I prefer that once they've been done dancing that they get framed, and I use the Wakanabo boys out of Cass Lake, and they are phenomenal, and their price you can't beat. Here's another jingle dress, and I love the story of what I feel this dress is, because this woman had to have just been an avid dancer, because she's missing lots of jingles. And it didn't bother me that the jingles were missing. This told me a story of a really, number one, an excellent seamstress, because I've looked at this and I'm a seamstress also. And this is probably one of the better constructed dresses I've ever seen. There's not a fray in it anywhere, but you can tell that someone vigorously, cheerfully danced for her health and the health of her village. And I just find this to be a beautiful example of once you're done dancing, you can still be art. We carry the size 13 seed beads, which are hard to find these days. And I'm doing my best to keep the itty bitty bead alive and get it interesting to the young people that have good eyes, because us old gals don't do quite as well with them. And I have a collection of them back there. And then in here is some of the older velvet hair bows from years back. And I don't know exactly, and I hope somebody corrects me if I'm wrong, but I believe these are from the Red Lake area. And then the little teepees back there, those beadwork earrings, that's Clarissa Lusher, and she's from Red Lake. Our wild rice, we proudly sell the Desjardins wild rice from Red Lake. I believe his wild rice is some of the best that I sell here. It opens very quickly. It has a very aromatic quality to it, and he does such a good job of parching it. He parches it really, really slow. Jack does an excellent job, and his family has been into hundreds of years of cultivating the hominy corn and hundreds of years of concentrating on the rice, the art of the wild rice. And I really, really enjoy supporting Jack in his efforts. This room in here is a little shrine to my parents. This is my father, Dr. Katowski. He was a PH dentist in White Earth when we were kids. My beautiful mother, my grandmother, my great-grandparents. My dad always wanted to have a world record fish. So he looked up that the only world record he could probably beat was the bullhead. So here on Big Toad Lake in Minnesota, he got an 8-pound black bullhead. There's his world record. This is my dad just prior to his death. Here's him in his natural environment, which was dentistry, which happened in the middle of the night. During the day, it didn't matter. My father was very, very interested in Ducks Unlimited and sponsored them very seriously. And back in the early 1970s, before women went to Ducks Unlimited, Dad said, "Go get a ticket." I said, "Dad, girls don't go." And he said, "Well, no, go ahead, go get one from Jay Mondre. He's the district attorney right now. Throw that women's liber stuff around about you can't keep us out anymore." So I had to go to the district attorney to get my ticket, but I was the first girl in the area in the early 1970s to go. And this is kind of a commemoration to Ducks Unlimited and how they enriched my dad's and my life. And up there, those are hair ties. And we're trying to explain to people that hair ties don't have to be your most expensive part of your regalia any longer, and that they can be mixed fur. There are some white fox there, there's beaver there, there's a little bit of beaver and white fox, and then we've got a spare pair of braids to try other different combinations. But we can cut up a fur and design your hair tie while you're here. You wait 2 days, come back and pick it up, and I have it done. I have a passion for fur sewing. If you see anything in this video that has feathers on it that look like they're real eagle feathers, they're not. We have some really good artists that can replicate, but we try to keep in compliance with the rules and regulation. If we have something on display here that is of value, such as that, cultural value, it belongs to my husband, so there's no confusion. This is our security device. This is Gordon's "Thou Shalt Not Shoplift" from Mama. This is Gordon's Beaver Hope. She was in a art show down in Bemidji. She was located at the government center, and there's a long story that goes with her, but the end of the story is even with your broken heart and even if you shed tears, if you keep going forward, there's always a glimmer of hope to follow you. His original project kind of went sideways because of a protest that was going on. And in his reference to a protest, he didn't want to do just the black bags everyone were doing. He took it to the artist level of, well, what would a tag artist do? Well, when he didn't like what was going on, he'd blacken it and he'd put his own mark. And that was what Gordon was representing in this. He doesn't typically do painting, but it's kind of fun.
My name is Gordon Van Wert. I'm a member of the Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians. I love to make stone sculpture. That's what I do. And this is my wife's store, Bezhiigwan, the #1 place to get this stuff. And I'd like you to come and see what I do. This is my gallery that's part of the Bezhiigwan. It's the Van Wert Galleria. And I do pretty much exclusively stone sculpting. This particular piece here is one of my standing turtles, and they all have a story to tell. The turtle is the person or animal who brought us from the other world to this world. That's why I use the turtle so much in a lot of my carvings. And as a matter of fact, the North American continent is called Turtle Island. And if you look at it, The St. Lawrence Seaway is 1 foot. The head is up towards Hudson Bay. The Florida Peninsula is a foot in the Baja Peninsula, and then the tail is Mexico and Central America, and they call it Turtle Island. So if you talk to any native who has any type of history with their people, they'll be able to tell you the same. We all refer to it as the Turtle Island, particularly the woodland Indians. This one here is telling the year of the wild rice. This is the sun and the water make the rice, and the rice is growing in the water. These are the harvest dance. We used to do a dance before we'd harvest. This is our wigwam, which would be our rice camp. The canoe is used to be in the water to harvest the rice. And the women would bundle the rice in big bundles because it was easier to harvest. The fire represents the parching of the rice. And this is the wind and the winnowing with the husks and the hulls that get blown away. And then they store the rice for the winter, and then it goes back to the water and to the sun and starts its yearly cycle again. And that's the story this guy has to say. I usually try to put the story on the turtle's back. Sometimes the story will be in the turtle's hands. I've had him holding baby eagles and baby turtles and all different types of things, but that's how I'm able to tell the stories. A lot of my pieces have stories with them. This one here is alabaster, and it's called Buffalo Dreamer. If you can see the buffalo in his hair. And on the back side be his hair ornament. It'll be like a medallion, but this one I carved a buffalo skull in because it's a sacred thing, particularly to the Plains natives. These are alabasters from Utah. That's a marble from Vermont. It's blue marble. So I carve all different types of stone. I prefer alabaster because it's so beautiful. It comes in so many colors, and it's pretty soft, but it'll take a really good polish. And I also like to use it when I teach. You can start seeing progress almost immediately. This was a piece I did for a show in Bemidji called The Art from Within. The art had to do with someone who had been in prison or in jail or had jail time, court time. And this is called Prisoner in My Own Country. And the grass here that he's hiding in kind of symbolizes the bars. And then on the back is what he's hiding from. If you notice on the back, it's the cavalry insignia. That was the insignia the soldiers used to wear on their little cap, them kepi hats they were called, kepi caps. So some of my stuff is kind of political. You know, I used to be a real staunch member of the American Indian movement, so I got involved in some of that. So a little bit of my my art might have a little bit political nature to it, but mostly I try to show how art can be healing, because a lot of these pieces I do with the inlay like this is like an inner radiance or our inner strength. Our guardian angel is there. We all have it in us, and that's what these represent. Although it might look like a moon or a sun or whatever, it's still the radiance of your inner strength, what helps you heal yourself. The native way of healing, a lot of it was psychological, because when they would have the smoke and the feathers and the tobacco and things like that, and you really believed that was going to help you with the healing, you could actually help heal yourself, because your mind is so incredibly strong. And it's a proven fact. They still do it today. You know, in psychiatry and everything, they teach you how to use your mind to heal yourself. And you can do it physically also, not just emotionally. Yeah, this piece here, it's an alabaster from Colorado. This one is actually called a healing dancer. The women jingle dress dancers of the Ojibwe nations were always used as healing, the sound of the jingles. But this one I couldn't put the jingles on because I just couldn't carve that many jingles. But she's still a healing dancer. And this is all one piece of stone. Even though it looks like it's two stones, or this looks different, it's all one piece. But this one I actually inlaid a piece of pipestone, and this is a stone from Africa called Wonder Stone. So like I say, I get stones from all over the world. I try to incorporate some of the colors, like the color of the pipestone, and then this darker stone here had to stand by itself because it represents the eagle feather and the power of the eagle feather. Almost every native tribe has some type of strength surrounding their eagle parts, their eagle feathers, their eagle bone whistles, and eagle claws and things like that. So that's why this had to be just a separate outstanding piece from the rest of this. That's why I use several different colored stones. And then I also like trying to put some nice movement in it. I had a art teacher, my sculpture instructor's name was Alan Hauser. He's a very famous Mescalero Apache. He was a descendant of Geronimo. And he was my teacher, and he taught me all about a simple shape and form. So that's what a lot of this is, just these really nice lines. He would do abstract sculptures that could draw an emotion out of a person just by looking, because it was a pleasing, beautiful shape.
Well, you're back here with Mary Paula Van Wert, and I'd like to thank you for coming and sharing this afternoon with me, or for some of your time. And we'd like to encourage all of the first-time artists, the seasoned artists, to keep in mind that you're no longer just craftspeople anymore. We've got a place to be fine artists, and we expect and hope to see from all of Minnesota and beyond the spirit of the Native American artist, the healing from within, the bringing together of the generations in order to keep these most valuable arts in the area alive.
If you enjoyed this segment of Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground, consider making a contribution at lptv.org. If you have segment ideas pertaining to North Central Minnesota, contact us at legacy@lptv.org. Common Ground is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund by the vote of the people on November 4th, 2008.